crosses over to some extent with the just sitting practice. So it's an approach to metta that's got a lot to do with the acceptance of our experience. Yeah. So often, you know, with the metta bhavana practice, it's it's considered to be what you would call a generation practice, and as in you generate something. And in fact, the word bhavana means something like making to become. So you're, you know, actively trying to, as it were, generate this quality of metta. There's another way of seeing that metta is actually something that's inherent to human beings. But, you know, sometimes it's at the back of our experience and we don't either notice it or it's somewhat, you know, covered over with our distracted mind and the hindrances, you know, the mental hindrances of, well, anxiety and craving, etc. I'm sure you're all familiar to some extent with the five hindrances. So yeah, so and it's this practice we're going to be doing is very much keyed into the first stage of the metta, because we're looking at our own experience. But, you know, with all metta practice, whether we're focusing, as it were, on our own experience or whether we're introducing other people into the metta practice, it doesn't really matter. It's all working with metta. We, as individuals, as ourselves, you know, are in great need of metta. Usually, we don't pay much attention to ourself as a human being in need of love. So this might be part of our background conditioning as, I don't know what, being British or something like that, whatever the background conditioning might be. And, you know, this is generalizing wildly, of course. But we seem to find it difficult to have a response of love towards ourselves. And partly it can be a little bit confusing as to what that really is. What does it mean to have a response, you know, of love towards oneself? Well, it means really one's experience, because that's what's going on. You know, we close our eyes, go into meditation. There is our experience that's happening at the moment. So, you know, there's our senses, you know, our perceptions, our emotions, and our thoughts are what's going on. So this practice is really coming into relationship to all of that, to our experience as we're experiencing it at the moment. And as it were, holding all of that within a loving awareness. So, you know, there's no alternative to what is happening now. It's the only experience, it's the only reality that we're having, is always the one that we're having right now. So often, you know, because of the hindrances, we are trying to get out of our current experience. We don't like it, we don't want it. Whether, you know, that's we're conscious of that or not, it's usually what's operating. So there's a great deal of mileage in metta in terms of just being welcoming and accepting of our current experience. This doesn't mean, you know, that our experience can't change. You know, it will, it always will, or that we, you know, can't develop qualities, etc., as a person. But without that basis of self-acceptance, it's very difficult to start to feel that metta towards ourselves, or within ourselves is probably a better way of talking about it. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, there's a famous sutta that the Buddha talks about metta. It's called the Karaniya Metta Sutta. Um, and in that sutta, the Buddha describes the attitude of metta, um, of being like a mother caring for her only child. So there's a great amount of kind of tenderness and warmth and concern and nurturing within that. And we can take that attitude to our current experience, whatever it is. So, if we as an individual are the child that is happy, well, the mother rejoices in that and encourages that. If we at the moment are a child that's unhappy, then we respond as a mother towards that unhappy child and give it what it needs: the love, the attention, the nurturing, the holding of our experience, etc. So I always thought it was a beautiful thing that the Buddha used that as a metaphor um, for loving kindness. And I think sometimes some of us don't always get that love when we're growing up, or we don't perhaps get enough of it as we need. So the metta bhavana practice is a way to be that mother or that father, that parent uh, to ourselves. Okay, I think I've probably said enough. Let's set up for meditation. Going strongly to our thoughts, thinking processes, unhooking from that and coming directly into the bodily experience, the sensate experience. Can start with the place that is closest to the thinking mind. In terms of the body, that's the sensations in the head and face. So we're unattaching awareness from our thinking process, particularly, and coming into a sensate experience. What does the head and face feel like in direct experience? And by direct experience, another way of saying awareness, or mindfulness if you prefer. So as we are doing a form of metta practice today. I'm going to come down to the physical heart center. So allowing awareness to come down through the body, through the neck and throat, being aware of the sensations in the neck and throat. In the upper chest, and coming into the area around the heart. So we might just have to imagine where that is to start with. But we're trying to stay with the direct bodily sensations and experience. So we could say that awareness already has the quality of metta within it. So you may already be able to sense or feel that quality of warmth, of loving kindness, of well-wishing. It may not be very obvious or loud. Metta can be very still, very quiet. Sometimes we can be looking for the big emotional experience in the metta bhavana. But often metta is more of a still, quiet background feeling and only responds when a situation requires it, when someone is in distress or whatever. So staying with the physical heart center. To help our awareness in this part of the body, we can imagine ourselves breathing in directly into the heart center. can help to awaken this energetic center within the body. You might also like to visualize or imagine the color red, or a ball of warm red glowing light covering, surrounding and penetrating the heart. Just staying with this for a few minutes. You could also imagine metta, loving kindness, as this hand that's holding all of our experience. This warm, loving, caring hand that's holding all of our experience from below. And from the heart center, we start to take in the whole of the body, the whole of our sensate experience as it appears right now. Taking in the parts of the body that feel good, warm or comfortable. And then also from there, taking in those parts of the body experience that are difficult. Imagining that warm, loving hand holding the difficult bodily experience. There's a sense of acceptance and welcoming to all of our experience. You can also take in the other senses. Taking in sounds, and softening in relationship to everything that's in awareness. So a sense of complete welcoming, inviting of what is just here. So softening towards the unwanted parts of our experience. They are here anyway. This is our experience in this moment. So just as the mother and the child, those parts of our experience that feel unhappy or distressed, the good mother doesn't turn away, but turns towards, from that place of love. And accepts the child's experience as it is. Allowing, welcoming, accepting. And that mother is the same as the vast open space of awareness. Warm, inviting, welcoming. Awareness never separates from experience. It's always there with our experience. It's just the mind, the thinking mind, the egoic mind that pushes and pulls at our experience. But awareness itself is always just there, accepting, allowing whatever arises in it. Just as the mother, the good mother, accepts all of the child. holds the child's experience within the cupped hands of loving awareness. We find ourselves wandering off, come back to the body and come back to awareness in the heart center. Breathing in and out through the heart center. Seeing if it's possible to rest back, to step back into an attitude of complete welcoming, complete allowing. As fully as possible, just allowing everything to be as it is in this moment. Relaxing into this, letting go into this. Our experience as it is in this moment. If we're getting distracted by our thoughts, it's recognizing that's what's happening and being allowing and accepting of that being the case. That's just how it is at the moment. Welcoming the whole kaleidoscope of experience. If our experience is that we are tired, or that things seem a bit blurry, welcoming this too. This just happens to be our experience at the moment. Having an attitude of welcoming, of loving, holding within that warm space of awareness. Often when we start to have an experience we don't want, like distraction or bleariness or tiredness, we start fighting against it. And this causes us to move further away from it, to get into conflict with it. So instead of that, just allowing it to be what it is right now within the space of awareness. Similarly, if we're restless or anxious, not fighting with our experience, just holding whatever is there, stepping back into the warm, kind space and holding our experience within that.